Hey, Brittany.
Hi, Rachel.
So I have a beef.
Oh, dear.
I have a beef with the internet. Someone on the internet has me a little annoyed, and I wanted to tell you about it.
Just one person?
I know, right? It's usually a lot of people. But in this one in particular, it has to do with homeschooling and school choice and public school and just the difference. So here's the meme. It says K through 12 public schools spend $17,280 per pupil per year. Homeschooling costs about $1,000 per year. Only about 33% of public school students are literate. About 99% of homeschoolers are literate. Incredible. Now, what is the problem that you see with this?
I mean, public school isn't working?
Well, my problem is homeschooling costs about $1,000 a year. Now, I have a beef with this.
Where you're going. Yeah, okay.
I have a beef with this because in their calculations for how much public schooling costs, guess what they are factoring into that $17,280?
Probably
Teacher
just the
salaries.
things you have to buy. Oh, okay.
Teacher salaries.
She's foaming at the mouth. She's getting real mad.
So I'm assuming that $1,000 is like school supplies and curriculum and stuff like that. Okay, so just for background, I homeschool one of my sons, and I have another son that goes to public school. So I have feet on both sides of the line here. So I'm not against public schooling if that's your choice, or homeschooling if I'm on both sides.
You like
here.
Choice is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I like choice, and I've made different choices for each of my kids. And let me just tell you, every year for public school, at the beginning of the year, I get a supply list of
that
things that I have to buy for my public school kid. So, okay. And
not to mention taxes.
Does homeschooling really cost $1,000 a year? If a mom, typically a mom, but one of the parents has to forego a job in order to do it. Is that really what it costs? What if the mom could get a job for, say, $70,000 outside the home, but she's not making that choice because she's homeschooling? So if you think about it that way, the calculation completely changes, right? If you think about it that way, homeschooling is the most expensive way to educate your kids. But that's not why we make that choice. It's not about cost. It's about we want the best for our kids. We want control over their curriculum. We want them in a healthy, safe environment. You know, public school is not healthy and safe for every kid. Mm-mm. For some kids, it works just fine in some school districts, you know. It's an individual choice, but I would not say that homeschooling is like an economical choice, because if you think about it, you've got one teacher for sometimes one kid. I mean, maybe you homeschool multiple kids, 2 or 3. Yeah. I'm just saying that we should value the time and the opportunity cost of the homeschooling mom. And if you're lucky enough to have a mom or a dad, you know, somebody who stays home with you and schools you and gives you that blessing, please know that you are very lucky, and they are very likely giving up a lot in order to be there with you. And so please give your mom a hug.
For the homeschool
give your
mom.
Yeah. So this really is in praise of the homeschool mom, and just acknowledging how much moms really give up in order to make this choice. And it's such a good choice. And it's, yeah.
I can imagine too, homeschooling is great. It's not easy. And so I also think people forget to factor in sanity costs in that.
Sanity costs.
It is a lot of work. You know, I can say from being a teacher that I paid a sanity cost sometimes. But I think as a homeschool mom, especially because it's one-on-one, and obviously you love your children, you love being around your children, but just like everybody, sometimes you need some space. And sometimes it's frustrating because it's like, have you ever tried, well, you're a homeschool mom, so yes, like to explain a concept to somebody and maybe they didn't get it and you weren't operating from the same point. And so like there is some frustration of trying to teach, though I know a lot of homeschools kind of hands off and letting the kids teach themselves. But it's just, I think there's a lot mentally that goes into it also that we forget, that there's just a lot of things that homeschool moms do.
I'm very lucky that I have my husband who also works from home, and he is a math genius. He's actually like a PhD in astrophysics.
That's right.
So anything math is his territory. Yeah, past third grade, it's all you, honey. But yeah, just imagine a mom having to do it all. And there's a lot of moms out there like that are trying to explain everything, like all subjects. And as they get older, that gets a little bit harder, but thank goodness for Google.
Yeah. Or ChatGPT now.
Yeah. It's like when my son starts asking me questions that get past my knowledge, I'm like, I don't know, honey, let's Google it. But all that just to say that homeschool moms don't get enough love. And this meme that was supposed to be, praising homeschool, I think kind of got the calculation a little bit wrong. And I mean, it's fantastic that 99% of homeschoolers are literate. I absolutely 100% believe that. But it's not surprising if you think about the one-on-one that they get, the individualized attention. And it is so worth it. It is so worth it. And a lot of times moms can find ways to make money from home. So sometimes
But even then, I think people forget that if you're working from home and homeschooling, you are doing two jobs from home. It's not like you're just like typing and then like over your shoulder being like, incorrect answer. You know what I mean? It's two full-time jobs at once.
Yeah, it depends on how old your kids are and their personalities and all of that. But so this brings up an economic concept that I wanted to touch on a little bit called opportunity cost. So, and just to say that not everything is about dollar for dollar. In life, if you choose one thing, you have to unchoose something else. Mm-hmm. That is the opportunity cost. The path that you don't go down is your lost opportunity. But when you have to make a choice, you choose one and you weigh the pros and cons, but there's something that you're missing out on by not choosing the other. And that's a calculation that we have to make when we're deciding which way to go in life. So, and it's not always about money, Sometimes there are other things that are, time. Time is a huge one. There's a lot that goes into making a decision. And so you can't just consider dollars, and this is important in negotiations. I was in real estate for a long time. And so I learned a lot about negotiating. And really the most important thing that I learned was it's not always about money. Sometimes it's about dates when people want to close. When do they have to be moved out? And can they keep the chandelier that was a family heirloom? There's all kinds of things that people want. So if you're trying to make a decision or do a negotiation with someone and only looking at the monetary side, you're missing out on a whole bunch of other things that might be really important to them. You have to consider the whole landscape when you think about choices and negotiations.
And even, happiness is something. I love the job I work at now. And luckily, I mean, I'm so happy with how much I get paid, but I didn't tell them this when I was interviewing years and years ago, but I would have taken a pay cut to work for them because my happiness I valued and my peace of mind more than a dollar amount. No, of course you don't lead with that in negotiations. No. And I lucked out by not, but I told my boss afterwards, I'm like, oh, I definitely I love what I do and who I work with and everything so much that I probably, that was factored into that because that to me was more valuable.
Yeah, that's so important. But I mean, can you imagine the opportunity cost if you had taken a higher paying job somewhere where you were miserable?
Exactly.
So there's a whole lot that goes into decisions in life. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's opportunity cost is one of those things that is going to come up over and over again throughout your life. And like I just said, sometimes you'd be surprised. You think oh, I want to make a lot of money, but oh, my happiness. But it's not even just a job. It's not even just in homeschool. Opportunity cost is everywhere. Sometimes it's even do I want to eat this whole cake? I bake a lot, so this is applicable to me. Or am I going to feel sick in the morning? Or opportunity cost, Rachel and I talked about a couple episodes ago, getting up in the morning and going to the gym isn't fun. But I'm giving up sleeping in 15 extra minutes for my health, right? So there's all these things. So I think that's really important. But we will wrap it up there. Great topic, Rachel. Yeah. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. And until next time, we will talk to you later.
Talk to you later.